All right, fair use, fair use. And disclaimer, this is your brother Walt Rumia back with another lesson, Lord, willing to be edifying. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wahab, Rakakadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, of great millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 men of the Lord, see on the highways and byways, prophesying in the name and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, also in the correct doctrine. I want to send a shalom to the one-third men, women, and children that will escape the justice of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai by their faith. Just want to bring out another lesson. Esau's biggest fear is that he is going to have to suffer the consequences of his forefathers, which scripturally he will. Um, and that's all it's about, man, because whatever the word says is going to happen, it's going to happen. It can't be changed or anything like that. But that's his biggest fear. It ain't being replaced. It ain't being without jobs or having a house. That's nonsense. He always try to deflect and play the victim. And he has been doing this forever, I would say, because he wants to feel like he's never going to get punished for the things he's done, and everybody else can get punished for the things they done. And see, he is finna come out of power, man, and the curses are starting to cling to them, cleave to them. So let me hit a couple of these videos and hit a couple scriptures, and Lord willing to be edifying.
Death rates have now surpassed white birth rates. That's in the United States, that's in the UK, Europe, pretty much everywhere. And I don't know if people realize how fast population collapse can really happen. So I'm going to give you a really graphic example. If you have two parents have one kid, whenever those parents die within 40 years, the population is cut in half. If two parents have two kids, the population stays the same. If two parents have three kids, the population increases. And one reason why it's so impactful on the white community right now that we need to be having kids is because not only is the feminist movement put men against women and they're not dating anymore, they're pushing interracial mixing, they're pushing LGBTQ, transgender, abortion, which leads to no reproduction. We have to have strong, white, big families again, 6, 7, 8 kids, and we need to be putting our people first to make sure that we don't become a minority in our own country, but we are actually a minority on the world stage. We are a global minority, and we need to start having big white families again. It is urgent that we do this. Let's talk about
And see, it's not no one stopping that. It's the Lord. The Lord has caused your birth rate to shoot straight down, man, because the Lord has a agenda for Esau's just as well as Esau has an agenda for the world. And his elites are making this happen, man. As he says, for the first time in U.S. history, minority births outnumber white births, and that's because he's feeding you all these GMOs. Your testosterone is down. You can't reproduce, and I mean it's everybody, man, because what they've done, they try to hinder the so-called people of color, which they call not uh, not indigenous to this land, which you see where I'm trying to speak around for the algorithms, but you see that they are using their alphabet gangs to take away the people that wasn't so-called born or indigenous to this land. And they trying to take the indigenous people from the land anyway. But just to make a long story short, they are they're seeing that they are going to be replaced, and they're trying to take away the colored population, I would say, so they won't overrun them. But there's no way they can do that, man, because the Lord has the power over death and life. So the Lord is taking them out, man. Just like He done doing the Moabites in Japan, their birth rates are way down as well, man. You can't say this is by no one else's power. This is for the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, man. And see, a lot of those Edomites, they're homosexuals, they're feminists, and they rely on building up their fortune instead of and then not only that though, the cost of living is so high you can't bring a family in, man. And this is all orchestrated by the elite, man, by your politicians. by your own people. They cause your birth rates to shoot down, man. Now check this out.
Tell me how you define white identity and what you think is being erased about white identity.
Certain types of Anglo derived culture that comes from our history.
Like what?
Let me think about this. Senator, I would say if you were to look at the book by one of your former Senate colleagues, Born Fighting, about the sort of Scotch-Irish military culture and certain, pride that went with that, that would be one example. Obviously, you could have sub-elements of that culture. You could have Italians, you could have Irish, and those are in many ways more.
But you're worried about white culture. You're not worried about you're now retreating to ethnic identity. You don't speak about ethnic identity. You speak about white identity. So tell me the values that stitch together white identity and that make it different than black identity.
I would say that the white church is very different than the black church in terms of its tone and style on average. Foodways could often be different.
And those music could be different. Those are being erased.
Music could be different. Well, if you look at the Super Bowl halftime show, which was not in English this year.
So our ability to access white churches or white food or white music is being erased.
I am concerned with the majority common American culture that we had for some time that through particularly mass immigration, I think has become much more balkanized, and I think that weakens us. And again, I'm not running away from that comment. I'm not apologizing for it.
Well, I'm way over my time. I think you're struggling to answer this question, right? Because underlying your beliefs is a sentiment that white culture is just simply better.
And that's plain. It's what he thinks his white culture is better. The halftime show has absolutely nothing to do with white culture. Just because they put another face on the screen to speak another language, that's a business move by the NFL. If you would look at it that way, because the predominantly Spanish-speaking nations and other nations worldwide, they watch football, soccer, they will call it. So they trying to get those those viewers, because the same day the Super Bowl played a regular soccer game, and they said it was over 700 million people watched the soccer game, and that was a regular game compared to the Super Bowl when only 135 million, 137, something like that, watched the Super Bowl. So that was a business move, but Esau is looking at it like it's a smack in the face to white culture, which he is basically saying that white culture is better than every other culture when Esau never had a culture, man. They stole everybody's culture and they made it their own. From food, the music, none of that music, rock and roll, pop, none of that country music, that was nothing Esau created. That was all Jake created, man. So he can't take the credit for what was created by the children of Israel, man. Which he feels like, since they are controlling America, that this is all about them. What you're seeing, that this man is not in control of anything, man. This is all the hands of the Lord, man. He just gave Esau the time to rule, and their rulership is coming to an end. So they're getting scared because they're not going to be in power anymore. They're not going to be in power anymore. Now I got another, the same man is going into this. This is like at a Congress meeting or whatever, but it shows you that they're reaching to find anyone to feel sorry for them, but they're in control. He's going to explain it, man. They're predominantly, they've been predominantly the presidents of the United States, the predominant richest people on in America, which all over the globe. But we're just speaking about America. They've been controlling the NFL, the basketball, all sports, because they're the owners of it. The news media, they've been in control of that. All the social medias, they're in control of that. Everything they've been in control of. So he's trying to make it seem like because people are coming here trying to make a living, that it's a smack in the face for him living here, when they are the ones that control everything, man. To the drugs coming in, to the sex all on TV, to the low birth rates, to the food being sold and being, man. List goes on and on, man. Now check this out. Now check this out. See how he's reaching in this one.
things you said was American whites are victims of a cultural genocide. Where to start? So you'd agree with me, wouldn't you, that whites are pretty well represented in the United States Senate?
They are well represented in this body, yes.
And how about in the House of Representatives?
Senator Kane, I don't have those particular numbers,
But you
however,
would agree that they're pretty well represented in the House of Representatives.
Senator, I would, again, thank you for the question. I would point out that there were no white Protestants by birth in the 25 cabinet members under Joe Biden.
How about in the ranks of American presidents throughout history, including now pretty well represented whites?
Senator.
And how about in the ranks of vice presidents during American history now? Whites pretty well represented in that group, right?
Senator, thank you again for the question.
Yeah. I don't think it's hard. How about on the United States Supreme Court? Throughout our history and including now, whites are pretty well represented on the United States Supreme Court, correct?
I think obviously historically, I would of course agree with you. Of course, the vast majority of Americans were white at that time. It's now a much more diverse society.
Let's focus on right now. How about in the ranks of American governors? You think whites are pretty well represented?
I would just have to look at the numbers. I don't know.
Okay, how about this? In the ranks of CEOs of major corporations today, you think whites are pretty well represented?
Senator, thank you for the question. I suspect that they are probably pretty well represented in that, but there are other areas where they're not as well.
How about in the ranks of high income people? And we can define it however you want. Let's just say like top 10% of wealthy Americans. You think whites are pretty well represented?
Senator, thank you for the question. They would certainly be underrepresented with respect to Asian Americans, but they would be overrepresented with respect to other groups.
Yeah. A cultural genocide, that's a stiff claim. And it's an interesting one because it's kind of a white victimhood argument. But if I remember my colleague, Senator Rosen, she was reading comments to you where you had been saying, man, Jews play the victim. Jews like to be the victim. And yet you're making a claim that whites are victimized by a cultural genocide when all the statistics would say, not just in history, but today, that whites are very well represented at every level of every institution. They're very well represented in the incomes of Americans. And that doesn't mean each person is high income or each person is a Supreme Court justice, but you could look at institution after institution in this country, and the facts completely rebut the notion that whites are victimized by a cultural genocide.
And that's plain, man. There's no cultural genocide for Esau. He just feels like his power is slipping and that they are not going to be in power much longer if his nation is not repopulating and controlling Babylon the Great, man. See, Esau feels it's slipping away, man, because what he's saying and what he's doing, what he's saying and what he's speaking is playing the victim, and he wants sympathy, but he's not going to get any sympathy because they know that it's a lie, because they are riches. I just expressed it just a minute ago. They can control everything, man. If they didn't want people to come in, they wouldn't let people in. They gave people visas and passports and everything that they've done, they've been in control of. They was like DT just took down those slave monuments. They in control of everything, man. No other nation of people has anything to say and able to do anything here in Babylon the Great, unless you are part of the Edomites, man. Unless you are part of it. These Edomites, I say it like that because basically they're in control of everything, man. They're in control of the money flowing. No, Jake ain't in control of none of that, man. Their face is on the money. This is their kingdom. And they just feel it slipping away. Now check this out.
Jesus. So you know how all the white supremacists think there's this big replacement theory going on? Well, they were right. There is a replacement theory going on. It's just that they were stupid because they got it completely wrong. So Microsoft's AI CEO just held a presentation, and he said most, if not all, white-collar jobs will be eliminated in 18 months. He said it. Most, if not all, will be eliminated within 18 months. That is going to be a mass job replacement. There's the replacement theory right there. This coincides with Bernie Sanders having experts at a hearing who said that within 10 years, 100 million jobs were going to be eliminated because of AI. Yeah. So what do? Go with universal basic income? So we're all stuck having to survive on whatever they tell us they're going to give us every year. How is this going to work, you guys? There's your great replacement theory come to fruition.
So there you have it. She just broke it down to you that what your fears is what has already been done, man. And that's by your people, your own people that's taking the jobs from you. AI's basically controlling everything that you came accustomed to having, all these jobs, all your everything, man. And we're seeing that the elite have taken the blessing of own and controlling the globe to themselves, man. They didn't give you your low level Joe Blow six pack Edomites any of the benefit of being white, man. White privilege is over with, man. Having white privilege is over with. And now that it's coming to an end, you're seeing that the Lord is moving on you, man. The curses are starting to cleave to you, man. Now check this out. It says, do you know European colonizers abducted hundreds of thousands of indigenous babies from their mothers and fathers and gave them to their pet dogs as dog food. So this is the fear that you have, is that what was done to the children of Israel, you blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, is finna be done to you. And you can tell that they see that their power is slipping away. It's slipping away from them, man. And it's slipping away very, very fast. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. Now check this out. I gotta play it on my phone because they won't let me. They won't let me play the video because it's a voiceover video. Now check this out. Just pay close attention to it.
Let's talk about their biggest fear, because I think that explains everything. White nationalism or white supremacy or white mediocrity, whatever you call it, it's not rooted in pride. It's rooted in terror. And the terror that one day they will be treated the way they treated everybody else. That fear comes from history, from memory, from knowing exactly what was done in the name of power, in the name of profit, and in the name of dominance. To understand this, we have to name the brutality honestly. And there's been so many instances, but I'm going to name a few. Enslaved people were branded with hot irons like livestock. Fingers, ears, breasts, and genitals were cut off as punishment. Teeth were knocked out. Tongues were cut out for speaking their language or telling the truth. Iron masks with spikes inside were bolted on the faces so people could not speak, eat, or cry out. Some were locked in cages barely large enough to stand. Women were raped as policy, not in secret. Rape was used to breed more labor and destroy family bonds. Men were raped as well, often publicly to break their spirit and strip them of dignity. Husbands were forced to watch their wives violated. Parents were forced to watch their children beaten, sold, or killed. Pregnant women were whipped until they miscarried. Others were worked until labor began and sent back into the fields hours later. Babies were used as leverage. Crying children were silenced permanently. Some infants were thrown into rivers or fed to animals to terrorize entire communities. People were starved on purpose. They were worked to death on purpose. Bodies were hung from trees, dumped in rivers, left to rot as lessons. When one died, another replaced them without pause. None of this was hidden. It was law, it was religion, it was business. Churches prayed over plantations. Courts ruled that human beings were property. Scientists invented fake theories to justify savagery. Newspapers advertised people like furniture. This level of brutality required complete dehumanization. Empathy had to be erased for it to function. So when white nationalists talk about being replaced, oppressed, or erased, understand what you're hearing. You're hearing projection. They are imagining themselves on the receiving end of the world their ancestors built. They assume that if power ever shifted, we would do what they did. But history already answered that lie. Despite centuries of unimaginable terror, Black people didn't respond with genocide. We did not build systems to annihilate others. We built families. We built culture. We built resistance. We built joy. We built morality under conditions designed to destroy it. Black history is not a story of revenge. It's a story of restraint, resilience, and humanity. Their greatest fear is not loss of power. It's the truth being told. Now drop a black fist in the comments and share this with someone who needs to hear this.
But see, The scriptures tell you the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And that is true, man, because they had their kingdom before ours. And we know that Jacob is Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Now they're starting to see and feel the curses that we had to suffer, that we had to go through. They seen the curses on us, and now they see what we were suffering. They're going to have to soon suffer it, and they don't know that, but we can see it through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because the Lord has blessed us to understand what's going to happen to our enemies, man. This is Deuteronomy 30 verse 7. It says, "And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies." And see, Esau is our enemy, man, because he raped, robbed, and murdered us and didn't have no mercy on us, man. So he is our enemy. It says, "And on them that hate thee." And don't Esau hate us? He might not say he does, but he shows us he hates us. It says, "And on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." See, Esau have persecuted us, man. We are blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans make up the prison system. We make up the poor and needy. We make up the homeless population. These curses cleave unto us, and now they're starting to cleave unto our enemies, man. NLT, it says, "Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, your power will inflict all these curses on your enemies and on those that hate and persecuted you." GNT. He will turn all these curses against your enemies, and that's what's happening, man. Their birth rates are going down. They're not able to have power as they once did by having white collar jobs and a middle class where they was able to go on vacation and have these beautiful vacations, drive these nice cars, and spend money and do all the things that they used to do. They're not able to do it anymore, man. So they seeing that if they're slipping out of power, these people are coming into power. It says, and he will turn all these curses against your enemies who hated you and oppressed you. See, who oppressed us? Esau did, man. So nobody's going to feel any sympathy for Esau, man, because you brought this on your own self, man. You didn't ever think that you was ever going to go down, man. And now pride has lifted you up to feel like the Lord is with you and the Lord is against you, man. And you're soon to see that the Lord is against you. This is Isaiah 41 and verse 11. It says, "Behold, all they that were incensed against thee, shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing." See that? They shall be as nothing. "And they that strive with thee shall perish." See? Every turn Esau is at us, man. So we seeing the Lord is making moves, man. You blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans that believe and have faith in the Lord, hold on, man. Because the Lord is finna make a move against Esau, man. He's finna shake his hand over Edom. It says, "Thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing." See that? They shall be as nothing and as a thing of naught. See? The Lord is finna strip all your power away, man. And you're finna be judged, man. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't even repent. So your forefathers, which you are, your forefathers coming back, you got to ask for what you did in your past life, man, to the children of Israel, the chosen people of the Lord, man. Jeremiah 30 and verse 16, it says, "Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity." See, you can go into captivity, man. It don't matter if you like them or not. This is the Lord's will, man. "And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wound," said Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, "because they called thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, who no man seeketh after." So they mocked us. They mocked us being low, being poor, being at the bottom, being killed in the street, get our heads bashed in. They laughed and mocked at us, man. They spit on us, man. They did all these things against us. Now it's soon to be their turn, man. Now you're soon to see the Lord is against you, as the Lord was against us, and we was His own people, man. You're gonna soon see that Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. It's Malachi 1, man. So the tables are starting to turn, man. You're starting to see that the Lord is not on your side, man. This is Ezekiel 25 and start at verse 12. It says, "Thus said Yahweh Shem Yahweh Power, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Jacob, it's like against the house of Judah, by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus said Yahweh Shem Yahweh Power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom." See that? The Lord is going to stretch out His hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. So the Lord is saying He's going to stretch out His hand against Edom, and they're going to fall by the sword, man. And this is prophecy that's happening, man. It says, "And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah." So the Lord telling you, they're going to soon know the vengeance of the Lord, man, by the hands of His people. So yeah, what y'all biggest fear is, what you did to the children of Israel, and will it be done unto you? It will be done unto you. You're to know that we know that we had to feel the vengeance of the Lord. Now it's your turn to know the vengeance of the Lord, man. It's soon to go on our enemies, man. You're soon to see the vengeance of the Lord by the hands of His people, man. This is NLT. It says, "I will accomplish this by the hand of my people, Israel. They will carry out my vengeance." See that? They will carry out my vengeance with anger, and Edom will know that this vengeance is from me. See that? You're gonna soon see the Lord truly hated Edom, man. That wasn't written for the hell of it. They're soon to see this is the hatred of the Lord, man. As they was able to display it, and as they was able to boast in it, now you're gonna soon see that the table's gonna be turned, and then your biggest fear of being paid back, you're gonna be paid back for it, man. I, the sovereign Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, have spoken. See, this is spoken. This is nothing we can't even, if we wanted to, man. And we said, "No, Lord, I ain't gonna do it." The Lord will put us to death, somebody else gonna do it. So this is the patience of the saints, man. It's Psalms 149, man. This is what the Lord said is gonna happen to Edom, and there's nothing He can do to change that, man. No Jake can say, "Well, Lord, please don't." No, that's not gonna happen, man. Good News Translation, it says, "My people Israel will take revenge on Edom for me." Ooh. Man, that's right there. The GNT hit hard right there. It says, "And they will make Edom feel my furious anger." Woo! Your biggest fear is going to come true. Edom will know what I mean. What's like Edom will know what it means to be the object of my revenge. Woo! Edom is finna. That's heavy, man. It says, "Declare the Almighty Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah," man. They finna, hey, man, you gonna feel it, man. They finna feel it, man. And the Lord is a man of His word, man. And what He said is gonna happen, man. And there's no way to take it back. There's no way to stop it, man. This is Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah's will, man. This is Psalms 58. Psalm 58 and what's it? Verse 10. It says, "The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked." See, he shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, so that a man shall say, verily, there is a reward for the righteous. See, it's a reward for this, man, for this truth, being in this truth and this faith of the Lord, man. It says, verily, he is a power that judgeth in the earth. See, this is the Lord, man, that judge in the earth. We're going to soon see that this is the hand of the Lord, man. And there's nothing you can do about it. Ain't no writing, it ain't no signing no treaties. It ain't no sending peace deals, making a deal, and sitting. You can't puff up against the Lord, man. You doing shit to the children of Israel, killing them and slaughtering them. That's still not going to change what the Lord outcome for you is. You can't puff up against the Lord and him back down, man. He is not a man. And he's definitely not a man that he will lie. So these scriptures are going to be fulfilled, man. This is Psalm 7 and verse 11. It says, power judgeth the righteous, and power is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He have bent his bow and made it ready. He have also prepared for him the instruments of death. See, he's prepared for the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and hath conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. See that? A ditch which he made. And Esau made this ditch for himself, man. He put GMOs out there, man. He promoted this sexual immorality, man. Being all these different, being in these different alphabet gangs and shit they got. They got so many, man, of the alphabet gang. He promoted that, man. He took away the jobs, man. He had these nations wanting to come here. So you dug a ditch which you created, man. He made a pit and digged it, and is falling into the ditch which he made. See, you're falling into the ditch which you made now, man. His mischief shall return upon his own head. See, all the mischief you've done is going to fall upon your own head. And his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. See, all the wickedness you've done is going to fall down on your own head, man. I will praise Yahweh Shem Yahushua according to his righteousness, and will sing praises to the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua Most High. See, this is finna happen, man. Because they're finna implement this MOTB, man. They're gonna start with Jaws first. Watch the elder Azana Moth video, and they're finna implement this MOTB. It's gonna start in the judges, in the judges. It's gonna start in the jobs first. Then it's gonna go to start voluntary. Then it's gonna go to being mandatory, man. So every day, as a brother, I always say, hope, grace, mercy, one day closer, man. This is Psalms 35. And start at verse 4. It says, let them be confounded and put to shame that seek after my soul. Let them be turned back and brought to confusion that devise my hurt. Let them be as chaff before the wind, and let the angel of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua chase them. And you see, the Lord is finna have these angels bring judgment on Esau too, man. Thousands upon thousands of angels are coming, man. And they ain't coming to watch. They come and bring judgment of the Lord, man. Let their way be dark and slippery, and let the angel Yahweh Bashem Yahushua persecute them. See, as you persecuted us, the angels are going to persecute you, man. And those are our brothers, man. For without cause have they hid for me their net in a pit, which without cause they have digged for my soul. Let destruction come upon them at unaware. See, the destruction is going to come on Esau without him even thinking about it, man. He's going to get caught off guard, man. And let this net that they have hid catch himself into that very destruction, let him fall. See, in that very destruction, let him fall. Because they're planning to come against the men of the Lord, man. But that's going to be a trap for them, man. The angels are going to take charge over his elect, man. So everything that's been prophesied to happen is going to happen. And brothers will be martyrs, man. But we're here to the point, man, that doesn't matter, man. We know what death is. We understand all of that, man. We understand what has to happen for us to get the kingdom, man. This is Psalms 109, and I'm gonna start at verse. I can read this whole thing. This whole thing is dynamite, but start at verse 6. It says, "Set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand." Matter of fact, let me get this in the NLT. So let Satan stand at his right hand, and that's gonna be at Esau's right hand, and who he worships, man. The adversary of the Lord. Verse 6 again, it says, "They say, get an evil person to turn against him. Send an accuser to bring him to trial. When his case comes up for judgment, let him be pronounced guilty." See that? And that's what we're doing. We're pronouncing you guilty by prophesying against your kingdom, man. We're pronouncing you guilty as you pronounce us guilty every day. He says, count his prayers as sins. Let his years be few. Let someone else take his position. May his children become fatherless and his wife a widow. May his children wander as beggars and be driven from their ruined homes. Like it says, may creditors seize his entire estate, and that's what's going to happen. Your riches are going to be soon taken, and there's nothing you can do to revive them. There's nothing you can do to keep them. And strangers take all he has earned. Let no one be kind to him. And in the kingdom, he's going to be very low, man. Esau going to be very low, man. Nobody's going to have any pity on Esau, man. Because you're going the heathen nation going to feel like Esau is the reason why they're in captivity too. It says, let no one pity his fatherless children. May all his offsprings die. Ooh. This is NLT, man. It says, may his family name be blotted out in the next generation. Woo wee. May Yahweh Shem Yahushua never forget the sins of his fathers. See, the Lord is not going to forget the sins that you did. I just showed you that they used to feed our babies to their dogs, man. And everybody knows about the alligator bait. So it's a lot of things you have to pay for, man. It says, may Yahweh Shem Yahushua never forget the sins of his fathers. May his mother's sins never be erased from the record. May Yahweh Shem Yahushua always remember these sins. And may his name disappear from human memory. Woo-hoo. So he's going to be truly erased. Because nobody's going to remember Walmart or Target or none of these things or none of these streets he's created. Nobody's going to remember that. It's going to be truly erased. For he refused all kindness to others. See that? You refuse all kindness to others, man. He persecuted the poor and needy, and he hounded the brokenhearted to death. He loved to curse others. Now you curse him. See, those curses are going to go on Esau, man. Deuteronomy 28, was it 15 down to 68? He loved to curse others. Now you curse him. He never blessed others. Now don't you bless him. And he's not going to be blessed at all. Cursing is as natural to him as his clothing. See, he had no thought of doing this, man. His thoughts would always to curse you. He says, or the waters he drinks, or the rich food he eats. Now may his curse return and cling to him like clothing. See, now the curses are finna cleave unto Esau, man. Now may his curses return and cling to him like clothing. May they be tied around him like a belt. Ooh, there's no way to escape the judgments, man. There's no way to escape these judgments. May those curses become the Yahweh Shem Yahweh's punishment for my accuser who speak evil of me. And that's the point, man. I gotta get this right here before I go. So the Lord, those curses are finna cling under him like clothing, man. He's gonna have to wear these curses, man, just like we did. We suffered the wrath of the Lord, man. Now it's time for Esau to do the same exact thing, man. But the thing is, the Lord loved us, but the Lord hated Esau. Obadiah 1 in verse 8, it says, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh Shem Yahweh, even destroy the wise man out of Edom and the understanding out of the mount of Esau? So they're confused now. They don't know why their birth rates are down. They don't know why their economy is crashing. They don't know why that they have ruled for so long and never was able to they was able to have all these different riches, and now they don't understand why it's being taken away. They're gonna crash out and go against their own people, man. The government. They're gonna go against. That's who they. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna go against the elite, man. And the mighty man, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mountains of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob's shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, man. See, just what you did to the children of Israel is why the judgment is so heavy coming upon you. It is nothing you could have did to change it. You had to do the will of the Lord, just like we're gonna have to do the will of the Lord, man. It is now that the role reversal. You had your time. Now it's soon to be the children of Israel's turn to rule. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou hast as one of them. See, Esau, when they came into when the Edomites came in to destroy our temple, they was against us, man. When the Babylonians came in to destroy us, Esau was with them, man. He said, you was one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother. And Esau is Jacob's brother, man. And that's the Lord telling you, you should even looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger, who was casted out of the land. He says, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. See, they rejoiced over it. They said, destroy, destroy it. It was Psalms 137. It says, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people. See, the Lord is going to avenge his people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity. Neither have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. See, the Lord is against Esau, man. So the Lord told him, you should have never looked at them. They should have looked at the destruction. You should have never boasted about the destruction that happened to my people. Now it's soon to turn on to you. It says, neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut those of his that did escape. So when our people escaped, they was there to say where we was at, to recapture and to bring us back. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. See, they captured us and took us back, and for our people to get slaughtered, man. There's no way out for Esau, man. The tables are turning, the curses are coming onto him, and he's going to have to wear them like a belt. So I'm in it there, Lord, when it was edifying. Shalom, shalom.